Now, Sports Talk with Brodes. Here's Hunter Brody.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome on in to Sports Talk with Brodes. We are broadcasting live from the Manscaped Man Cave. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code BROD at manscaped.com. This organization is in a horrendous spot, and it's nobody's fault but their own. I don't even know if they are aware of that, though. Does Doug Pederson, Howie Roseman, and Jeffrey Lurie even understand that the reason why they are in this crossroads situation is all because of them and what they decided to do throughout the years? It's not just a one-year thing. This Jalen Hurts pick in the second round definitely played a role in the downfall of Carson Wentz, and whether you believe it should have or shouldn't have, reality is it did. They are clearly clueless when it comes to that area. We all questioned it from the jump. What type of message is this sending? And here's the Three Stooges walking on into the NovaCare complex, not even understanding what they're doing. It's not just that pick. There's plenty of other picks and decisions when it comes to these older veterans that have truly been just disgraceful. And the reason why the product is what it is, but that Jalen Hurts pick is a big piece, without a doubt. And when you look at where they are now and you look at their draft pick, is it fair? I know this is wild. I know this is crazy. It is bizarre that I'm even asking the question, but I can't imagine this being off the table. Can you draft a quarterback at 6 overall? Look, if Carson Wentz is this bad and he's this lost mentally, where he has no idea how to even operate on the football field anymore, and if Jalen Hurts isn't someone who's ready to play now, what do you do? And if Jalen Hurts isn't ever going to be ready to play, what do you do? You're not going to be drafting super high every year. You might the next couple of years, because it seems like these three individuals have zero awareness. But I'm going off of the track record with this Philadelphia Eagles team, and they are normally having some sort of success where you're not drafting in the top 6, top 5 area. Now you are. Do you have to make the most of your opportunity? The problem is they put themselves in a spot where, how can you? When you look at paying Carson Wentz all that money early, and then when you look at the draft pick of Jalen Hurts, even if it was the right decision to draft someone at 6 or maybe even move up if you feel someone is available that can change your franchise, how can you? You almost took it off the board, but it can't be off the board because that's the most important position on the football field. But you have so much on the table at the moment, you're going to have to assess this and make a hell of a decision. But I blame them for paying Wentz too early with this Hurts pick, no matter what their philosophy was. If their philosophy was Carson Wentz stinks and he's a bum and I'm drafting his replacement, well, then you screwed up and significantly hurt this franchise with putting that much money on Wentz. You didn't have to do it. If you had to do it, different story. You didn't have to do it. You gambled. You gambled, and it's possible that you failed. Not only did you gamble, but you didn't even support your gamble properly, and that's where I have a hard time sleeping at night. So let's say they knew Wentz was a bum, and they were trying to figure out how to back themselves up a bit, how to find the alternative. Well, I can still criticize the living hell out of you for deciding, let's pay Carson Wentz that contract. Yeah, that makes sense. So, sorry. And if you go with the philosophy of they truly believed in Carson Wentz, but they wanted a backup quarterback because of Carson's injury, and they wanted a gadget player because they watched the New Orleans Saints, well, then it doesn't make sense to pay your quarterback that type of money, look at the current roster, and think the gadget is what you needed. So there's no way out of this. It is a lose-lose, and right now it has intensified to this crazy degree where a lot of us Eagles fans are in this tough spot. Now, when it comes to Carson Wentz and who do you start, it's not easy, and I feel like I hear Doug Pederson speak, and he's torn. He doesn't know which direction to go to. It's almost as if he's having this internal battle with himself where he sees the pros of starting Wentz, and he sees the pros in starting Jalen Hurts. Now, I want to touch on these stats from Jalen Hurts because I think it's reasonable to bring up the fact that they were up 20 points in the fourth quarter when he came into play. When the Eagles were down 17 and 20 points, Jalen Hurts was 4 of 7 with one drop pass, 92 yards, one touchdown, and one sack. When they were down 7 and 14 points, the Green Bay Packers defense played a little bit differently, had more intensity, 1 of 5 for only 17 yards, 2 sacks, and an interception. Now, his ability to use his feet is big. When your offensive line is getting destroyed, you can escape and make plays happen. It does seem like maybe he's not reading through all of his progressions, and as soon as he sees something he doesn't like, boom, he's taking off running. Right now, anything's better than Carson Wentz. But if you throw Hurts out there, let's say against the Saints to start, and I was, after the game, post-game podcast, saying it's a no-brainer. It's a lock. It's not even a debate. You go with Jalen Hurts, and I do feel he is the right person to play because you need to know what he is. 4 games is a small sample size, but you at least get more knowledge of the player because you got to think about the future of this franchise. So you got to see what you have in the kid more so than just read options when Carson Wentz is out there as well. But if Jalen Hurts struggles and looks bad and looks miserable, can you yank him and put out Carson Wentz? I feel at that point you're stuck and you're committed to Jalen Hurts. So is it an easy decision to go with Carson Wentz? Because if he does struggle, you can pull the plug on him. You can definitely make sure that leash is super tight, and then you throw in Jalen Hurts. I guess the argument to that is, well, let's say that happens. Let's say you throw in Carson Wentz. He sucks. You have to pull him. You put in Jalen Hurts, and he sucks. What do you do at that point? It's the same thing. You're stuck in a spot where your quarterback is not playing well regardless, and at that point, I guess do you just keep throwing the kid out there in these unfortunate situations, in these tough circumstances where he's being thrown into the fire and getting waxed? If it looks ugly, what are you supposed to do? So does playing Carson Wentz almost buy you time, if that makes sense? It is a weird spot to be in. Good luck to whoever has to come up with this decision. And oh, by the way, once again, just a reminder, they did this to themselves. They made this the conversation that it is. So I want them to feel this pain. I want them to feel the agony. I want them to be pissed off that quarterback controversy is now the headline because they made it this way. So I'm adding on to it. I'm the gasoline that's being thrown on the fire because of their poor decisions in the past. And I know that's petty, and I'm here to be petty. Let's start off the Anytime Hotline call, shall we? If you want to call in, the phone number is 856-442-9805. You can call in at any point. You can react to anything you want. All right? It's always available. Let's see what we got.
The whole Packers-Eagles game just has me perplexed, man. The main thing I take away from this game is that I don't get why Jordan Howard is getting the same amount of snaps as Miles Sanders. Alshon Jeffrey's getting the same amount of snaps as Travis Fulgham. Those two things just don't make sense. There is something physically wrong with this team, personnel-wise, or who's making the decisions. It's just not right with this organization. And, Hurts played well. I like to see him start next game, but the decisions that are made on this team are just not okay and just can't win football games whatsoever.
I agree completely. Now, I feel in terms of who gives you the best chance to win on Sunday, the answer is Jalen Hurts at this point. Carson Wentz, I heard him speaking to the media, and Reuben Frank brought this up, and I thought it was so telling. Where Carson Wentz was asked a question, he said, "That's a great question." I don't even know what that means, but it's a great question. See, his mind is so lost where he is almost in shock and stunned in what's going on right now, where he can't even comprehend what's going on. How can it be a great question, but then your follow-up statement is, "I don't even know what that means"? That just shows me that he can't even recognize what is occurring at the moment. And I'm sure it's not easy to go from who you were in 2017, to go from that big contract, hell, to go from North Dakota to Philadelphia. It's a totally different environment. And I wonder, you hear about him maybe being hard to coach, maybe not being the most loved guy in the locker room. And where there's smoke, there is some sort of fire as well. I just wonder if, look, this is a different type of lifestyle. You go from North Dakota kid, stud, to the NFL and even have some success, and then you get the money, even though it's not in play yet. You get the contract. You're in Philadelphia, tough market, a lot of media questions. Everything is so heavily focused on you where you crack a bit. That might be the circumstance. I do feel bad for the guy, but I do feel Sunday Jalen Hurts gives you the best chance to win. I just don't know from a franchise standpoint if that is the best move long term. You are stuck with Wentz. None of this, you're trading him and this and that. You have this dead cap tied to your name. Good luck. If you want to bite the bullet, good luck. It's literally almost impossible. So you have to find a way to fix Wentz. I did hear this argument, though, and I'm talking more long-term, not for the backstretch. For the backstretch, my hands are up saying go with Jalen Hurts. I don't care. You got to know what you have in the kid because I think it could literally be the difference in what you want to attack when it comes to the draft. You might have to. If Jalen Hurts can't play, you might have to. What do you do then? Throw out Wentz more and more and more? I don't know if you can do that. Seriously, I know it sounds like the most insane thing in the world. Wentz in his contract, Jalen Hurts second round. Can you seriously think about drafting a quarterback? Sure, if you don't believe in what you got. And if we're going to try and salvage Carson Wentz, but you know there's such a limited chance that he becomes salvageable, what do you do? What can you do? Do you take advantage of where you are in the draft? Well, I'm not saying it's the top. Like, if you look at all of their possibilities, that this is the top possibility. No. But I got everything displayed here on a spreadsheet. All right. See, I go through all of the options. When they look at certain players and certain draft picks, I don't think they look at all the options. Because if they did, I don't know if Jalen Hurts would have been here at quarterback. Because it's almost as if they didn't really process this through all the way. But anyway, a couple other things that you touched on. Miles Sanders and the usage of him. Ridiculous. Pathetic. You don't even use your best playmaker. Problem. Huge problem. I'm not screaming like it's 1970 to run the football 40 damn times in a game. You start the drive out, the first drive with 5 runs for Miles Sanders. He finished with 10. You're telling me he had 5 other runs throughout the entire game? If you don't use Miles Sanders, if Jalen Hurts starts the football game next week, you're doing him a disservice. You're putting him in a really tough spot to start his NFL career off. Oh, yeah, we're going to drop you back 48 times. Good luck. You got to implement the run game more. Miles Sanders can play. He fumbles. He does fumble. But that can't limit you from calling 10 run plays with the guy. Where you pick a dude off the street and he's getting a significant role early on. Where Sanders has 5 runs and Jordan Howard has 4. And you mix in Boston Scott. What are we doing here? It's asinine. Also, I thought you brought up a great point with who's making the decisions. I don't know. Who's play calling? I don't know. How do you not know? That shows that an organization is inept. When nobody knows, when you're being all sneaky, when guys have input that shouldn't have input, this is the result that you get. And it's a common theme throughout all of sports when you have a front office that isn't handled properly. And sadly, we're going through the pain.
Now, I'm of the mindset that this team is really bad and any quarterback will not have a lot of success. But at this point, just play Jalen Hurts for the rest of the way and see what you have. And before all the Wentz heads get on me saying, oh, well, Jalen Hurts threw an interception at the end of the game. He sucks. He's really bad. Well, Wentz has thrown 15 interceptions the entire year. And in my opinion, Jalen Hurts can't be as bad as Wentz. It's going to take a lot for Jalen Hurts to be as bad as Carson Wentz has been. So at this point, see what you have in him, ride him for the rest of the year, and let's just see what happens.
I do think it's important to see what you have in him. There was a spark. Regardless of the 5 of 12 and the interception and some really poor throws, he sparked up the team. I guess the question is that sustainable? Is that something that can last forever? I do fear that they look at Carson Wentz and they laugh. As a team, they laugh. They don't feel like they can win football games with this guy. They look back and they go, God damn it, we're screwed once again. This guy can't make a throw to save his life. And when Jalen Hurts came in, the energy shifted as if they believed in their quarterback, and that's why they played the way that they did, because they had this sense of urgency that, hold on a second, we can actually run certain plays. We can actually make plays downfield over 20 yards down the field. He can get us the football at a high clip. There was this sense of urgency that intensified. I just wonder what happens if you go through 4 or 5 series where you go 3 and out. Does that spark seem to fizzle because, well, the belief in this kid seems to dwindle down as well? How long can this spark be there? It definitely is something that can last longer than a half of football. It can last a handful of games. I don't know if it's forever, though. At some point, I feel that it will definitely be blown out a bit. The fire, the spark won't be as aggressive. But it happened. Oh, it happened. Not just with the offense. Defense came out flying. Special teams came out flying. The entire team played better where there was a fresh face under center. But I can't pretend like just because I saw it for a half, that automatically means it'll be forever. A couple tough plays, maybe an interception. Maybe there's a game where he throws 2 interceptions on back-to-back drives. How do the wide receivers feel then? How does Zach Ertz feel then? How does Doug Pederson feel then? There's a lot that can happen that can fizzle out that spark within seconds. And I mean seconds.
We now have a quarterback controversy, Jalen Hurts and Carson Wentz. And realistically, if you ask me about this game, other than Doug Peterson's play calling, I really do not feel any different. Who should start next week? It should probably be Wentz. But, I mean, you can't disregard the fact that Hurts gave a spark. Me personally, I think that he realistically won't do much better behind this offensive line. Hurts is just a little bit faster. But on top of that, the defense showed some fight. They kept us in the game, but official dude, we now have a quarterback controversy in Philly. 2020 can't get any crazier than it already has been now.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It's been a long time since we had a quarterback controversy, huh? The only difference, though, between, this offensive line when you talk about the 2 quarterbacks is the pocket presence. Jalen Hurts, if he feels that pressure, he's going to take off and run. I do think it matters, though, that other teams will now be more prepared for Jalen Hurts. If he is the guy to move forward with this football team, there will be more tape. Think about it. Kyler Murray and this Cardinals team, they're not playing as well. Well, guess what? There was a blueprint on how to stop that Arizona Cardinals team to a degree, and then other teams are aware of that happening. Lamar Jackson, he came out on fire. It was great. He was rolling. Well, the Tennessee Titans put it on display how to beat them, and now he hasn't been the same level that he once was. Once teams get tape on players, it's not even the same sport anymore. It's time to make a bunch of adjustments. You need to find ways to get creative. I don't trust that this coaching staff has what it takes to get that damn creative with Jalen Hurts, but here's the thing. For the backstretch of this season, for the next 4 games, that's not really the issue. That's more of a long-term problem than the next 4 games. This caller, though, stated he thinks it should be Wentz. I guess I can see why Wentz would be the pick. I see both sides. If you ask me the simple question of who gives you the best chance to win the game, it's Jalen Hurts. If you want to look more from a philosophy standpoint of this franchise with money in play, contracts in play, investment in play, I could see why Carson Wentz would be it as well, but quick on the leash. But what if Wentz blows, right? And you got to pull him again. Are you going to start him in that Arizona game? Is he going to get every single chance every single week? As much as I think that this team failed him miserably, these upper management people failed him miserably, he also failed himself. He is still a big part of the missed throws. I really think that Goddard play was the difference maker. You rolled him out. You got him to the right. He gets a gain of, I think I said in the post-game pod, 47. I think it was 41 yards. Regardless, I got sloppy handwriting. A 47 can look like a 41. It doesn't really matter. What you saw was a guy who went back, rolled to the right, saw a wide-open tight end with a lot of green in front of him, and put it 10 inches behind him, and that totally ruined the play. And not only that, the ball in the air, wobbling around. It looks like your drunk uncle on Thanksgiving in the backyard that you all laugh at, maybe smack in the face when you get back to the huddle because it was such a terrible throw. Dropping back, going to the right, throwing the ball, wobble, wobble, wobble. I think they even mentioned it on the broadcast how much it was wobbling. Awful throw. I honestly believe that was the difference maker in, all right, we got to do something because I don't know how much more we can keep throwing this guy out there when you have wide open players. I've been so hard on Doug, and I don't think he put his struggling, limited quarterback in the best positions at all. He kept putting him in spots where he was failing miserably. He never tried to think outside the box to help out his quarterback like he should have. So I am pissed with Doug Pederson. At the same time, and I've been very consistent on this, Carson Wentz has also sucked. Both can be true. Doug Pederson failed Carson Wentz, and Carson Wentz failed Carson Wentz. Both of those statements can be true, and I was truly disgusted in both categories. I was disgusted in both of those factors, which led to what we've all been seeing, which is putrid football. I'll tell you what's not putrid, though. DraftKings. And they have brought their expertise to legal sports betting. It's a legitimate sports book based right here in the U.S., so you can rest assured that your funds are totally secure. DraftKings, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is safe, secure, and reliable. Deposit and withdrawal at your convenience. Listen to this deal. It's outrageous. All new users have a chance to earn a sign-up bonus up to $1,000 when signing up. All you need to do is download the app and sign up with the code BRODES. Head to the app now. Check out all that they have to offer, including player props, live betting, and so much more. If sportsbooks are not yet available in your state, don't forget about the DraftKings Fantasy app, which offers millions of dollars in total prizes every week. And if you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, let's go to the next call.
Behind that makeshift offensive line, you better have a quarterback that can run. And the only way this offense seems to get anything going is through improvisation. And I think Jalen Hurts can do that better than Carson Wentz at this point. But here's one last thing that does tick me off. How many weeks ago did they say that Jalen Reagor was going to take over the punt return duties? And instead, we've been force-fed Greg Ward's Mr. Fair Catches and 2-yard returns. It's amazing what happens when you put Reagor back there. Lo and behold, the kid breaks one for a touchdown.
The Jalen Reagor play was awesome to watch from the special teams side of things. It was also awesome to see him make that one-on-one catch, without a doubt. But that special teams play, it was nice to see that explosiveness. I just wonder, though, the reason he juggled that football, he was juggling all around. Maybe he is having a tough time actually catching the punch. You talk about fair catch Greg Ward. Well, what if behind the scenes we're not seeing this, but Jalen Reagor is having a hard time catching the football? So they want to go with the mindset of, let's make sure that we can actually secure the ball and give our unbelievably horrendous offense a chance at this thing instead of throwing Jalen Reagor back there. But they did put him out there for a reason, I guess, at this spot. Maybe they were that desperate, though. Maybe they looked at it as, we can't do anything. We are this desperate. Let's try something new. You saw the bobble. I think the bobble stands out to me, though, on why you haven't seen him consistently returning those punts. But I was amazed with him running down the sideline. I was pretty juiced up because I want Jalen Reagor to succeed. I talk about this somewhat jokingly, but somewhat not. This whole quarterback thing at the 6th pick. I don't want to see them have to draft another wide receiver because they miss constantly. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, and then you have Jalen Reagor. Like, I want this kid to work out. I want them to pan out. I know I've been petty, and I want them to feel the pain and suffer. I don't want them to feel the pain and suffer too much, though, because then it starts hurting me, and the rebuild becomes more insane. We need to find a happy medium of, oh, yeah, I want you to just, inside. Because you did this! You! Jeffrey Lurie Howie, you did this! But at the same time, the longer it goes on, I feel it. So we got to somehow find this combination of it all.
I'm glad that the Eagles bench went just for him to think about what has happened over these past weeks. And Jalen Hurts played well. He won an interception at the end, but it wasn't that big of a deal. Jalen Reagor had an explosive punt return for a touchdown. You'd like to see that. Darius Slay didn't play a great game. And also, Fulgham needs to be in the game more. I mean, I think he should play over Jeffrey. Jeffrey wasn't really doing anything.
Jeffrey is a bum. Jeffrey is a waste of space. Jeffrey is a problem. I just want to look at it fairly. Travis Fulgham dropped a pass that hit him right in the hands. During that 4-game stretch, he was going up, high-pointing the football, looking like Antonio Brown on the Steelers. He was explosive as hell, and he was doing all sorts of stuff. What happened to the guy? What happened to the guy? Is it as easy as they took snaps away so he's no longer succeeding? Is it easy as Carson Wentz has sucked so much he hasn't been targeting Fulgham or even giving him the time of day? What happened? Can I relate that drop pass to, hey, you know what? That's probably why. We got super pumped up. We got super juiced. I don't know how you go from 100-plus yards to this. It does seem pretty drastic. Just like I don't think you go from Carson Wentz last season to this. It's very drastic what is going on. But I don't know. It's so hard to read this Fulgham thing. The percentage of him actually becoming something legitimate based off of his story and all, pretty rare. Did we get just this crazy 4-game stretch that was miraculous, and then he went back to reality of a cut player in a bunch of organizations? With the defense, Darius Slay, he did have a tough day. Now, he's banged up, but he had a tough day. I expect more out of this corner. And the reason why you have to go make this move for Darius Slay, well, it's because you can't ever find a corner anywhere else. You struggle to draft a position. You struggle to find talent at the cornerback position. If you hit on certain spots in other areas, whether it's Sidney Jones in the draft or any other cornerback available throughout the last handful of seasons, maybe you don't have to go out and make that trade for Darius Slay, and then once again, you're in a totally different spot organizationally. Everything they have done, not everything, because some moves have been solid, but there are a lot of moves that have backfired. And look about how much money you have in this defensive front, and they can't get a lick of separation. They can't get a lick of domination going on that offensive, well, their defensive side, but they're pushing on the opponent's offensive side. How is that possible? Brandon Graham started out hot. We loved it. Where is he? Fletcher Cox, so damn underwhelming. Hargrave, he made one play early on, and I haven't heard that damn dude all season. This is supposed to be your bread and butter. You went up and you ended up drafting Derek Barnett. You got your guy Derek Barnett from Tennessee. Well, what happened then? Because guess what? He's the most average dude I've ever seen in my life. It's so flawed. It really is so flawed.
I think it's just simple. I wouldn't be surprised if Carson takes a pay cut so he can get traded. I'm always going to be an Eagles fan.
Excuse me? What? Take a pay cut to get traded? That's not even a thing. What's he going to do? He has this big contract. You're going to take a pay cut. You can't get away from this deal. The dead cat, you are stuck with this money on the deal. Take a pay cut. That doesn't even make sense. I can't with that one. It doesn't even make sense. Where are we here? Here we go.
Hey, Anwar from South Philly. I actually kept the game on this week. And I was surprised Jalen Hurts actually broke the cycle of bad moments. But then, once he got back in, the O-line showed us how they are. But, it's not all on Carson Wentz. The O-line breaks down and he keeps getting attacked. What we had, 48, 49 times sacked? So, I guess that has to rattle his decision making. So people need to understand that and stop going overboard.
It's definitely true that plays a role in how you are. There's been a lot of professionals who study tape and study NFL film at a high level, and they see that Carson Wentz is looking down at the line now. He's looking at the pressure when he's in the pocket, and his pocket presence has been so bad. He's not aware of what's going on. He doesn't have that sense where, all right, the pressure's coming, I got to get out. Now, I spit the numbers at you in the post-game pod. 5.3 seconds Aaron Rodgers had stepping up in the pocket, and that is a problem with this defensive line that I just shredded. But Carson Wentz on those third down sacks, 2.2 seconds, 2.4 seconds. That is not enough time to truly be efficient. Now, to counter that, Carson Wentz has had a billion problems on his own outside of the offensive line play. When he does have time, he's even screwing up then. But because it's been so bad for such a long period of time, his eyes are now trained to look down at the pressure when the ball is snapped. And that is crushing the way that he's seeing the field. And it's a reason why he is not seeing the field properly and missing players wide open. That has to change. Can that change? Is Carson Wentz fixable? It's not for this year. I know that for free. It's not something that can be changed for this season. That's an off-season type move. That's a mindset switch. That's a psyche switch. That's a, hey, I need to probably go talk to a sports psychologist type fix. Can't happen for this season. It just can't. Let's hope it's fixable, though. I can't imagine going from who he was to this. It doesn't add up. It doesn't. Whether you are a Wentz hater, Wentz supporter, whatever, even when Wentz was playing good football and people still hated him, which was crazy, it was never this. This is unplayable, benchable, not even an NFL quarterback level play. You don't just fall from one extreme to the next. Right? You just don't.
I feel like people should be okay with this game. I mean, yeah, Wentz was having issues. Hurts came in. I felt like Hurts did pretty good. That was great to see. And, you know, I'm on the tank train, so taking an L, that's beautiful. We're looking at like a top 6 pick. But at the same time, I mean, I got to be honest, something pisses me off, though. And it's, why is Alshon Jeffrey still playing so much? How come he's taking reps away from Fulgham? Even the announcers are saying like, oh, well, he's hurt. He has a foot. No, he's a bum. He sucks. He doesn't even want to play. Why is he out there, man? That's why I'm getting fed up with Doug. But anyway, I hope Hurts keeps playing.
Is Doug making the decision? How much power does the head coach even have? Jason Peters playing, Alshon Jeffrey playing. Is that really a Doug Pederson decision? I've crucified the man, and I called him dumb as hell, dumb as rocks, 10 billion times. So maybe he is making this decision because he has no brain cells, but I'm almost giving him the benefit of the doubt, knowing that there is a power struggle. I can see that there is an internal issue right now to the point where it starts with ownership, goes to GM, goes to head coach. So knowing the relationship between Jason Peters and the owner, knowing the money tied in from Howie with Alshon Jeffrey, I feel with the power struggle, you can make a case and you can argue that Doug Pederson doesn't even have the power to make that type of decision. We already know, it is documented, that Howie Roseman has an impact on who plays on Sundays, on who is dressing on the 53-man roster. Look at that contract Alshon has. You know there is a correlation between all of this. I don't know if Doug is even making that decision, which is scary. Which is something that shouldn't happen, but it's happening. Power struggle is real. And it sucks to say this, but that doesn't get fixed unless the owner admits we have an issue. Unless the owner says, I think we have a problem here. We got to reassess. We need to readdress this. Because what we're doing right now, it's not flying. We're not getting the support. We're not putting out the best product on the field. And if he does have his fingerprints in there, and he does realize that they're 3-8-1 and can't even win this sloppy NFC East, isn't that all the information you need? How much more data and analytics do you need to tell you, Jeff, if I can call you that? How much more do you need to see this isn't a winning product and it's not a winning philosophy? Apparently he needs way more, which pisses me off.
We have a quarterback controversy. Same situation, playing Green Bay, same defense, everything's the same. We see what Wentz is, we see what Hurts is. Is it so crazy to think with how good the system is at developing young talent that we can be doing better without Wentz? Boom. Case and point. I don't want to see Wentz on the field at all. I want Hurts to get all the snaps.
That makes no sense to me. How is it the same situation? In what world? It's a 23-3 football game, and it's the fourth quarter. How is that the same? Now, I'm not saying Hurts can't do it. I don't know if he can or not, and I'm willing to find out. I am okay with him playing and starting the football games. I'm okay with him being the quarterback because Wentz has not earned it. And I think Jalen Hurts at least earned the opportunity to show what he is capable of doing. But how is this the same? It's not even close to being the same. Prevent defense in the fourth quarter is the same. I gave you the numbers. When it was a closer game and Green Bay played it a little differently, the numbers dropped off big time from Hurts. Now, very small sample size. I don't know what he is. I don't know how ready he is. There was one point where after Jalen Hurts dropped a dime to Rager for 34 yards, you had a situation where it was close to 3rd and 19 or something close to that, and Doug decided to go for a little handoff to try and pick up some yards before he punted. I don't know if he thought he'd get into field goal range with that, which, no, they didn't. And it's not as if Jake Elliott would have been able to hit the damn field goal because he can't even hit extra points now. But you just watched Hurts drop a dime. 3rd and 19, you're not even going to give him a fighter's chance. And with what we've seen before, with the read option, with Wentz on the field, he was never throwing the ball. Do they feel like he's not ready yet? And he's, unfortunately, getting thrown into the mess, getting thrown into the slop. I'm only basing this off of what they have given me. I've seen a bunch of read options, barely any throws prior to this last game. But why was that? Was it because they couldn't trust him? Was it because they were seeing things? I saw some nice throws. Those 2 throws were really legit. But to say a back half of a game when you're losing by 20 compares to starting a football game, I can't get behind that logic at all. That's where you lose me.
I am tired of losing. I miss winning. It was really cool. I just want to get back to that. I don't care about Carson Wentz's confidence anymore. I'm over it. I just don't give a honestly at this point. I want to see us win a game. I don't care about a pick. I just want to win. I mean, the pick is the best thing, obviously, but I want to win, dude. I am tired of this. This is like the hardest thing to do right now is just feel like we're the Browns of the NFL again. I don't know, man.
You think this is the Browns? This isn't even close to the Browns. The Browns did this for decades. This is one season. You think this is the Browns? This is not even close. You have no clue. That's how spoiled we really have been. Everyone rips Donovan McNabb, Andy Reid. They suck. Really? I mean, come on. Really? What they put together for that stretch, you wouldn't take that right now? Absolutely. You would. This isn't even close to the Browns. And seriously, that's how spoiled we have been with Eagles football to compare this one season to what the Browns have been through over however many damn years. But I know you personally might not care about Carson Wentz's feelings, but when you are tied to him financially, you have to be. You have to be. Because you can't get out of it. So you're going to sit there with all that money on your bench. then you're super handicapped with what you can do with your quarterback that you find, with the quarterback that is next eventually when you have to pay him. You're in a pickle, dude. You're in a tough spot as a franchise. And I want to stress this for the 10 billionth time. Good. They did this to themselves.
Jalen Hurts showed what he can do. He can do a lot, more than Carson Wentz, clearly. I said after the Browns game that he should be sit down. That's exactly what they did. I'm happy with his play, and I'm happy to see what he can do next. And I'd like to know your thoughts on Carson Wentz's future as a Philadelphia Eagle. Thanks, and have a good one.
Thank you so much for the phone call. I really appreciate it. Quick, bang, right to the point. I saw things out of Hurts that I liked. I just don't know if this is legitimately who he is. Now, for as many reasons why he could possibly fail, I think that there's some things on why he can possibly succeed. If he gets first-team reps, if he gets more time with these receivers and with these players, and he gets a better feel. This is him seriously cold, coming off the bench, go play football. Well, if you have more time to prepare, if you have a better game plan implemented for him specifically, there's a lot that plays a role where I can see reasons why maybe it could be better. I can see reasons why, or maybe it could be bad as well. Only time will tell, and hopefully he does get that chance. With the future of Carson Wentz, he's here. He's here. Unless you are willing to take such a big-time hit without him even being on the roster, and a team... Keep in mind, another team has to be willing to spend $30+ million on Carson Wentz as well. The future of Carson Wentz is him being in this organization. It just depends on if he's going to be playing or if he's the most expensive backup quarterback in the league. That's reality. That's the spot you are in right now. Now, I've heard this argument before. If you're paying Hurts and Wentz, right? Does it matter? Does it matter who's playing? Does it matter if Jalen Hurts is the one playing and Wentz is on the bench, or if Wentz is playing and Hurts is on the bench? In theory, I guess no, but at the same time, yes. Optically, yes. Yes, it does matter. It does. How do you sell to the world that this is what you're doing? Of course it matters. I could see why it's brought up. I could see why maybe you would think that way. But it matters. It's a lot of money sitting on your bench. Imagine not spending that on your bench, using all that money elsewhere while Jalen Hurts is on that rookie deal. Talk about a roster, as long as you spend it in the right ways, which I almost just vomited out of my mouth just thinking about it. Did you see that? Something just came up. I think it was my dinner, but it was perfect timing because I was talking about spending the money in the right places. It's almost as if this team isn't allowed to do that. They're not informed how to do that right.
I don't even know what to do after this one, man. All right, Hurts gets in. He does all right. I mean, he's still running for his life out there. You start him the rest of the season, then what? What do you do at Wentz? You have so much money tied up with him. You're just stuck. I don't even know where to go from here, man.
I don't know where to go from here either. I'm not the one pulling the strings. I mean, look, this is why, one, we laugh at Dak Prescott, the Dallas Cowboys can't get their quarterback signed, this and that. I would rather be in that spot any day of the week than this one. If they needed to do it at that time, when they made the signing of Carson Wentz and that contract extension, I would totally see it with a different set of eyes. They willingly said, let's do it, based off of the track record, which was good at the time. I know that. I know it's hard to ever see something like this coming. Really, it's impossible. But you didn't need to do that. You felt obligated to do it, thinking you would get a steal. You got robbed. You gambled and lost. You're playing blackjack. You think you're going to win with the 20. Boom, dealer has 21. Nope. You gambled. You thought you had a good hand. You didn't have the best hand. You got boned. You got screwed. But guess what? You didn't need to do it. You should have made him earn it. So, yeah, I have hindsight. Of course I do. I have hindsight, and I'm aware of what happened post-contract signing. But once we get time and once we can recognize, okay, this is what happened, it's our obligation and it's our duty to then criticize or appreciate. If it was something that worked out, where you work out this great deal for Carson Wentz and he plays so well, you will get a bunch of praise. Wow, that contract was awesome. Wow, they did such a great job. Wow, they got a great AAV on a quarterback like Carson Wentz. So it would have went the other way if you did an exceptionally solid job with the signing. While everyone's paying $40 million and an insane amount for their starting quarterback, and you got a great deal on Wentz, and he's playing lights out, kudos. You get all the satisfaction. But I'm just going to play it fully 100% fair. If it falls flat on your face, well, I'm going to roast you. So think next time before you react before you need to. So how about this? We'll end here. I need to let you know about my friends at Orbit Energy and Power. With over 20 years of experience in the solar industry, they are home to your experts in residential and commercial projects. They are dedicated to making sure your project is completed easily and properly. Their solar program helps eliminate your electric bill completely. They provide water purification systems, backup energy services, battery storage, and more. To check out their information, it's all down below. They have a quarterback controversy. A legit one. Not a fake one. Not a, hey, do you keep Nick Foles or Carson Wentz? That wasn't a real quarterback controversy. At the time, they made the right decision. At the time of Nick Foles and Carson Wentz, they made the proper move. It wasn't really a quarterback controversy. It was a fake, made-up controversy. This is legit. Because Carson Wentz, and I've been labeled someone to support him and be an apologist, if you will, even though I hate that. It's just, there's context surrounding a lot of things, and I use context to support a lot of my thoughts and a lot of my concepts. And with him, there's reasons why I feel it has played out to this degree. But at the same time, I see a guy who is so defeated mentally. And I am never going to compare my college hockey experience to a professional with the media attention of a quarterback in a city like Philadelphia. But there was a time towards the end of my college career where I wasn't playing as much. I was a role player. I really had to battle to get into the lineup. Just to give you some context, we had 10 defensemen on the roster. And I would say I was around the 7th, 8th defenseman, where I had to battle my ass off to slide into that 6th defenseman role to play on the weekends. And I played some weekends I didn't. I was a healthy scratch by the end, right? I was... Sports depression, real depression in terms of outside of sports, I'm not combining the two, but in terms of where I was in my athletic career, I was extremely depressed where it affected me to a legitimate, insane degree. Now, intensify that by, I'm sure, a number I can't even fathom, and that's where Carson Wentz is. And at some point, when you lose your confidence, when you lose everything, you are flat out not a good enough player. If you don't have confidence as an athlete, you're done. You're screwed right from the jump. It doesn't matter your skill set. If you're unwilling to let the ball fly, if you're unwilling to throw the football, if you're unwilling to allow your receiver to go make a play, you're not going to benefit at all. You're going to get nothing accomplished. So, I just know how bad it was for me, and this was at a college hockey level. I can only imagine what the guy's going through. This is pro sports, though. You gotta get the job done. You can't be doing this. That's for damn sure. I'm just putting it in perspective, though. I do feel for the guy. It can't be easy. He probably shouldn't have had sex, though. Hate to go down that road, but once he became a married man, had sex, this and that, boom, different quarterback. Guess it affects people differently. I don't know. I feel I'm the same guy, though. Pre and post. Just saying. Thank you all so much for listening, and I will see you next time.